Hello everybody, this is Mary Catherine at my own little house, and I'm in my studio because it's too cold outside. We went so low last night, mid-30s Fahrenheit, and so we went straight from short sleeve weather to jacket weather right away. I brought all the plants inside. I have all of my big pots of lavender on the back porch now on a shelf in a window, so we'll hope that Leo can't get up there and abuse them. Well, I want to share with you the footage that I've been accumulating for the last, 4 or 5 days to show you what's happening because the weather is just delightful to me. I love to step outside and have it be brisk and cool. And last night, I think our weather got rid of the mosquitoes. So you can go outside in safety without getting your fingers in your ears and your neck nibbled by mosquitoes. The baby chicks are growing beautifully. You'll get to see them. And I've started doing something I love to do every year, which is to go outside in the cool weather and walk around the yard, crunching the dry leaves and hunting for pecans underneath our pecan trees. And this year should be a good pecan year. So let's go hunt for some pecans. Well, it's October, and going outside, I'm starting to find pecans. Now, that's what I call them, pecans. I grew up in Mississippi and Virginia. Some people call them pecans, but I call them a pecan. And we have about at least 18 pecan trees on our property, and some of them, as you know, are so big. And I didn't think this would be a good pecan year, and during the Hurricane Ian aftermath storm, lots of them fell, but they were still in their husk. They were green in their husk, and those are no good. They have to, if you find them on the ground, they have to be free of their husk in order for them to be fully developed and tasty. So I thought that I would see, I've had one, I think it was a little underdone. These have been sitting in the kitchen for several days, and I think they might have dried out some, so let's see what we think. I've got 4. I'm sure there's more out there, but we'll see what these are like. That's looking pretty good. It's nice and plump. It's a little pale. It's not usually an issue. Now, all of the parts of the shell, even just little bits of it in there, that's all bitter, and you don't want to get that. You just want the meat. I used to be able to crack them and take them out whole. Yeah, it didn't have a lot of flavor. It's not quite ready yet. Well, it has some flavor. Sometimes you have to let it sit in your mouth for a minute. I did just brush my teeth, so actually I have a toothpaste taste in my mouth. I spent a lot of my childhood cracking pecans and picking pecans. My mother is the one who did it so much. We had some pecan trees. She would pick them up and do all that processing work. And then she would bake with them all winter. Hi everybody. I'm outside this morning because I wanted to mow the grass. And as usual, the mower wouldn't start for me because it knew it was me and not Adam. So I thought, well, I'll go gather some branches out of the yard that had fallen in the last few days, and that'll give me a little something to do. And so I started picking up branches. And now I want to show you what I found. I had to go back inside and get a bag because there were so many. Pecans are falling. Really lovely pecans. These are new pecans in the last few days. I wish I could find one from last year so you could see how red they are. This is a good example. Beautiful, light-colored back, and there's no mildewy look on them. They don't look like they've been sitting out in the weather for a year, and that's how you can tell it's a new pecan. Here's a itty-bitty one compared to this one, and they came off of 2 different trees. I have one tree that's really dropping this pecan. This is, I think, called a Stewart. And then I've got another tree. Now this one, this is a doubtful one. See how it looks kind of white? Not sure about that one. We'll have to see if there's anything in there. But let me go show you the trees that are producing. And we have 5 really large pecan trees that look like that, that, and that. Okay, big fat old ones. Especially this one. This is kind of the #1 pecan tree, and this is the one that's dropped, that I noticed it was dropping pecans already. Pecans totally out of the hull. And I was picking up branches here, and this is where I started to find 15 or 20. And so I looked in this whole area. But its branches, you see how they go up. So it's dropping pecans really all the way to where I'm standing and over there and in the pasture. You see, I've got the chickens out. The big ones are over there. Let's see if we can get a little shot of the little babies. They're still babies, but they're a lot bigger than they were. They still hang around with Henny Penny. The white one is called Dandy. And these two right here are Liza and Lulu. And then the one over there is Coco. And the one over there is Lottie. So there's the babies. Aren't they cute? Now I'm directly underneath the biggest tree that I showed you. Oh, here's a nice pecan. I thought I might find one here. This is what we're looking for. But there's another one, I think. This one doesn't look quite so brilliant, but it's pretty good. There's many, many, many pecans that look like this. And they were blown out of the trees during Hurricane Ian. And they still had their husk on. And you have to kind of peel it off. It's possible that that one might be good, because the hull came off pretty easy. But it's kind of hard to say. A lot of them look like this. That might even be one from last year. There's all kinds of what we call pecan trash on the ground, because this property is way too big for us to be raking every little pecan up. So there's tons of pecans that we don't want, like all of those. But there are a few. Oh, and then there we have ones like this that somebody else has already gotten to. Got to that one. Nice little squirrel. It looks like the squirrels have been trying to get the husks off of some of these. They probably know that those aren't any good, and they give up. I used to pick up every little pecan, and then Adam told me, those other ones are not any good, Mary Catherine, and he's right. Oh, here's a couple more. There's one. And there's one. Anyway, oh, there's another one. I don't know when they started falling like this. They went down just a couple days ago. Sometimes you can almost tell by how they feel. If they're new, they feel like this one has a little bit of weight to it. And you can tell it's got a nice nut in there. Some of them feel just very weightless. And you kind of know that it's last year's and it's totally dried out. And if you crack it open, it'll be black. If I look back at that big tree, I'm almost out from underneath its branches. And now I'm underneath the branches of this one, which apparently is not dropping any pecans yet. I don't think. Anyway, I did, before the mower gave up the ghost on me one of those many times, I did mow this swath of grass down that goes back to the barn, which is very useful. Because the tree I really want to show you is the one back here. It's not a big, thick pecan. It's a thinner tree, but oh my goodness, does it bear. This was one of my heaviest bearing trees. Last time we had a really big harvest. Might have been 3 or 4 years ago. I lose track. But this one has branches that hang way down, so it's very easy. And for y'all that don't live where there are pecans, I thought you'd love to see this. Okay, So here's the cluster of pecans inside their holes. Now see how this one's still green? I want to wait till that one starts to dry up. They do dry up until they look like a little bit more like this. This one still has some green. So I'm going to wait until this one, when it dries fully, see it's loose in there, but it'll fall to the ground. Now see, these ones are still closed up, and it would be a terrible mistake to pick those. But this tree is just loaded. There's another cluster, and there's another. There's a lot on this branch hanging down. And even though it's a slim looking tree there by the barn, it really has a lot of branches and a lot of pecans. Look at all those hanging down. This is what this tree's pecans look like. They're longer and more of just a brown color, not so much red. They're very pretty. I didn't get to mow the grass underneath the edge of these branches hanging down. They're hanging down under over some tall grass. And when the pecans fall in there, unless they sit on top, I will totally lose them. That's for sure. Okay, so that's the pecans for today. It's a lovely day outside, and I've let the chickens out to free range, and Brownie's in there laying eggs. And I'll show you the babies, but I really want to show you Sheena, one of my hens. She's my top hen. She's the hen that's in charge, but every year she goes through a terrible molt. And molt is when a chicken loses all of its feathers and grows new feathers, okay? And it's perfectly normal. They stop laying while they molt because their body is working so hard they can't produce this egg every day. But she has the ugliest molts of any bird I've ever known. So I'm just going to see if I can show you what she looks like. Poor Sheena. Her rear end is just bare. I've never seen it look so bad. Oh, Brownie decided to get up. Oh, okay, and there's Henny Penny and the babies are over there. All the babies are still doing fine. Okay, I'm just going to try to sneak up on Sheena while she doesn't know I'm here. She's right there next to Mr. Sparky. Hey, Sheena. Pepper, you can go. Why is she being so... She can tell. I think she can tell that I'm taking her video. Hey, Brownie. Brownie looks lovely. Now, see, Brownie... Sheena usually looks just about like Brownie. She went hiding behind the car. There she is. See, look at her fanny. Oh my goodness. She looks terrible. She's got a few long feathers on the side. She is growing new feathers. Can you see the little white things there? That's a sure sign. She's lost the feathers out of those little, those are where the feathers grow out of. I don't know what they're called. Hey, sweetheart. She just looks ragged. She just looks so ragged. Oh my goodness, Sheena. But here in a few weeks, she's already growing new feathers on her back. In a few weeks, she will look beautiful again. You guys have a fun afternoon. Oh, let's go see the babies. They're really hiding a bit because yesterday we had a little hawk up in a tree, and you should have seen my birds go crazy. Henny Penny made a noise. I don't know what she was saying, but she made a noise, and those babies ran back to her and into the pen. They knew exactly what she was talking about. And the other birds, the only one I could see was Mr. Sparky. All the other hens disappeared too. They all went into this little island right here behind my clothesline. And I was standing there and I looked up in the tree, and there was a small hawk. So they've all been a little nervous and staying not out in the open the last couple of days. Yeah. Henny Penny's looking at me like, woman. Actually, since she's looking straight at me, that probably means she's looking sideways. That's something elsewhere. All right, that's enough chicken lesson today, don't you think? There's always a straggler. Somebody's in the herb bed. Hey, Henny Penny. Hey, little babies. Oh, they're growing so much. Hello, little one. We're not the only people in the family who like pecans. Tricky has found a very nice one. She's chewing it up. She cracks it in her molars and sends it flying, and then she goes back. Look at her. That must be so bitter. Yeah. Oh, she's got it open. Good girl. Yeah. There it is down there. Bobo, I've never seen you do that. You just want to be on camera. Did she ever? Well, you're not really doing much for it there, Tricky. You gonna get it out of there? Yeah. See, she got it cracked open. Maybe she's just licking the flavor out of it. That's possible. This little fella was hanging from the bird netting in our chicken pen. We don't know what he is. Underneath his wings, he's yellow, but the bird netting was all around his talon and included his tail feathers. Look at the beautiful speckled belly. We don't know what kind he is because we're not birder people. But we brought him inside and Adam held him while I cut all of the bird netting twine away from that foot. I hope that foot is going to function. It seems like it doesn't want to move, and I'm a little worried about that back claw.
Let's take him out.
Okay, so we're going to take him out. I hope you enjoyed that. Well, I am still knitting on my sweater vest. This is still the second front panel. It's a little longer than it was. Don't you love those colors? I'm very eager to get it done and wear it this winter around the house when I just need a little bit of layer in my torso. So I try to sit and knit it when I can, and I'm still working on a pair of felted slippers too. I always have a pair of felted slippers going. So I'm going to sit here and get a little knitting done today. And I hope that you are doing something creative and enjoying your day, enjoying autumn, enjoying the beauty of a natural world that is tired from all its labor and is ready to take a nap for the winter just like the rest of us. Thanks. I won't have a video probably for the next little while because I have grandchildren coming to visit and I'm going to be in charge of them. So if you don't hear from me, it's just because I'm having loads of fun with little kids. Bye guys. Thanks for joining me.